Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL. Way too early. Probably shouldn't even be doing this, but we're here anyway because we love football. Stokastic NFL First Look Strategy Show, Week 1, baby. Let's go. I'm very happy to be here with you guys. And I hope you're happy to be here as well because look, let's be honest. This isn't for all of us. Not everybody, and for those of you guys who watched the MLB strategy show this morning, you already know, not everybody's coming in to check out Week 1 NFL salaries and build lineups 1 month out from the start of the season before the preseason even started. But we don't actually care about that as the thing, right? None of that is important to us. What's important over anything else is that we get to talk football. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Look, somebody tweeted me earlier when I posted that we were going to go live here, right? And do this show. Essentially what they said was, and I can't find it right now, but it was more or less, oh, here it is. It's from Jay Hammy. Way too early first looks are what make the build up to the season bearable. Exactly. We sprinkle in a little here. We sprinkle in a little there. And we have some fun. As Michael Peterson says, why not? Damn right, fella. Why not? So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. If you guys don't mind, take a single second this fine afternoon. Atone for your sins. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Look, we need all the good karma we can get going into this season. Last season was awesome. It was a lot of fun, but you know how tough it is. Monster prize pools every single week. Some big slates, some 9-10 game slates, and then, again, some huge, like 13 game slates when you're getting these non-bye weeks early and late in the season. But let's go. The Mad Bowler preseason kicking off in full this week. Almost there. Let's go, Loughy. Thanks for being here, man. Yeah, look, I'm doing content for preseason. I love it. I love betting it. I'll tell you guys till I'm blue in the face. There is an edge there. I think there is a legitimately big information edge in the preseason, right? A legitimately big information edge that most people aren't willing to put the time into. And if none of you want to put the time into it, I don't blame you, right? Many of you have, full-time jobs and families that you have to look after. I have a family, but also I do this for work and we do betting and all of that stuff. So if you want this season, all of my NFL betting picks and every bet from the preseason, even though all those videos will be up on the YouTube channel. I won't do them for every game, but I will have picks for all of them. If you want, over on our Tails platform for OddsShopper, all of my picks will be 100% free all season. I'm not going to, not like week 6, nothing. I don't want to be beholden to man, people pay for this. So now I wasn't going to do picks today, but I have to. And I don't want to do anybody dirty. I hate doing that. So everything's free this year, including preseason. If you click the description, right here, the first one where it says follow Loughy on Tails, here's literally all you do to make sure that you have every one of these picks. For those of you that aren't just into DFS, but enjoy betting as much as I do, particularly on football. Really the only sport I actually love originating bets for. Click that link and then click follow me and you'll see it right there. Follow, and then all of my picks will be right there for you. You can get notifications, or you can just make sure that when you pop back into Tails, that they're all right there under your follow tab. And there's a lot of other awesome people that you can follow as well. It's not just me. So jump in and follow any of them. Also, if you don't mind, can one of you try that and click follow and let me know if it works? Because I haven't tried this before. Just let me know in chat. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's talk football. First thing I want to do here, since obviously a month out, we don't have tools updated. We have no data. Why would we? Preseason, you're going to know there's injury. We're going to understand camp battles a lot further as we get closer to week 1. Obviously, injuries are going to play a role, and you're going to end up having some circumstances. Let's see if DraftKings has cut back on their mistakes from last year and see if they have decided at running back, where have they priced these guys? All right, see, even Jalen Wright's 4,900, Samson 4,900, Allen Charbonnet. So all of the backups for the most part are in the high 4K to low 5K range. Do you guys remember? It wasn't long ago where they messed up a lot and they would just price for week one all of the backup running backs at 4K. And in doing so, pricing all of those guys at 4K, anytime there was an injury, now you're just getting a guy that you're almost forced to get maximum exposure to. Not really seeing a lot of that. Not a lot at all. But by the way, Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, can we talk about this for a moment? And then we'll get into everything else. But this is what makes this shit fun. There seems to be this opinion, if you guys are best ball drafters, I know I've done a lot of drafts. I'm going to try and keep doing as many as I can. It's time consuming. One may argue a time sink, but we love it. Mile High, what's up, brother? For those of you who have put some research into football this offseason and have, at least your finger on the pulse somewhat, it is wild to me that Ramondre Stevenson is going drafted so far after Henderson. I'm talking like 70 plus spots in some drafts. For all we know, like Ramondre Stevenson could just come in under McDaniels, and absolutely get the majority of work early on. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. As they slowly work Henderson in, use him in different formations, get him some work, but Stevenson is still the guy. That wouldn't shock me. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what I am saying is these are the type of spots that we have to at least account for early in the season if we're going to try and find an edge. So let's see. Kate Thumbs, I'm on Tails. Follow worked well, especially with YouTube Premium. Awesome. Thanks, dude. So let's look at the totals, see if we can identify the chalk. Here's one. Commanders and Giants. Commanders at home against the Giants. 45.5 point total. They're 7-point favorites. All right. Well, out of the gate, that's going to be a spot. Now, what if we go a step further and say Terry McLaurin, who has requested a trade, like I can't imagine that's going to work out well for him. They've apparently shut down any other team asking about him, like inquiring about Terry McLaurin. I don't know what the situation is going to be here. As always, my assumption is that he'll be out there week one because more times than not, these holdouts and trade requests, especially in a situation like this, he's not exactly a spring chicken. They're going to result in them getting on the field, even if it may be later on in the offseason, that there's a deal worked out. But my point is, if there isn't, then what? Are we just looking at super chalk Washington because now you're getting all of these discounted players as well, right? Like where Terry McLaurin is 62, that's not even expensive. Deebo Samuel's 5,200 in this spot. Deebo's 5,200. He would become the de facto wide receiver one. And then you've got a guy like Jalen Lane who's making a ton of noise in camp. A ton of noise. Does he end up coming? Maybe. De'Ami Brown is gone. He's in Jacksonville. So then the question becomes like, are you getting Jaden McDaniels with a $5,200 guy and then just pairing with another minimum salary option? Be nuts. Or even a $4,100 Zach Ertz against the Giants. Now, I will say, and for those of you Giants fans, you may appreciate this, I think a healthy Giants defensive line is actually pretty damn good. But still a ton of question marks in that secondary. And while obviously totals can be off, especially early in the season, they've been up long enough now to where they've been picked over. And you got the total at 45.5 and the Commanders at -7. So I think Washington's relatively popular here. I can't wait this year. Am I on an island? Tell me, fellas. Am I on an island here? I can't wait for the first time we can pair together Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. To me, Garrett Wilson's one of the best receivers in the league. Clearly one of the most talented. Massive catch radius, can run any route. Just a fantastic player who has played with garbage at quarterback. You could say that's Justin Fields. But when you look at what he's been able to do for his wide receiver ones, DJ Moore, last year, even George Pickens prior to, Russell Wilson coming in, Justin Fields he feeds his wide receiver one. If if Garrett Wilson had the highest target share in the league this year, wouldn't surprise me. I don't want to do it against Pittsburgh. And I don't love Pittsburgh whatsoever against the Jets. Funny how Rodgers faces his former team in week 1. Then you've got the Browns and the Bengals. Probably going to be Joe Flacco. And I'll tell you what, friends, you ready to get ugly here? I mean, if it's Joe Flacco against this Bengals defense, improved from last year or not, even if they are improved, how improved can you get after being just the most abysmal defense in the league? Burrow should have been the MVP, guys. Burrow should have been the MVP of the league. I will allow no dissent on that, and I will listen to no pushback. Burrow should have been the MVP, but you can't when you miss the playoffs because your defense is atrocious. But does this game end up being like a wicked stack? If Flacco starts again, 44.5 point total. Bengals, by the way, only 5.5 point favorites. I know they're on the road, but still, that's not a huge number here. You're going to have to pay an obvious premium for Burrow, Jamar Chase. Higgins is 6,400. I love that price point. Absolutely love that. Tight end position is largely gross, but if you're talking about Cleveland and Joe Flacco's 4,900 against this defense, we've had some success in the past. You guys already know, playing some cheap quarterbacks with decent enough pass catchers, like the Desmond Ridder spot. It wasn't one of us, but that was the spot that took down a Millie. The Daniel Jones spot, week 2 of last year, paired with Malik Neighbors. Some of these really cheap quarterbacks in these spots can produce. And you know what? Say what you want. Football is one of these very odd games where, like, home field, at home, divisional game in week 1, there's hype around Cleveland, even though they're mad about not getting Travis Hunter and such. Although things keep getting worse, even with the Judkins news. Point is, and I want to know what you guys think as well. I want to know what you guys think. Because to me, if Cleveland is just unowned in a spot like this, and you're telling me that I can get a $4,900 Joe Flacco, maybe like the 3 max power sweep or something, or the spy, anywhere really, get overweight in the millie, but that $5 millie is I'm not playing that. I'll put a couple in the 100. I'm not touching that $5 millie. It's insane. I say that now, and I probably will, but someone in chat just mentioned 800,000 entries. All right, so check this out. If we wanted to stack Cleveland with like a Jamar Chase run back, and we've learned in recent seasons the run back is less important than we think, but still, bear with me for a moment. Because I don't really want to stack Cleveland unless I'm running it back with Cincinnati. This to me is different, because the hope here is that Cincinnati gets ahead early or Cleveland can't stop Burrow and company, which is entirely possible with a healthy Chase Higgins and Chase Brown, right? And then instead of stacking a very expensive and presumably super chalky Bengals team, I think they will be with all the hype they're getting, go the opposite direction and run it back with Chase or Higgins, or maybe even both. Let's see. Guys, did you miss this stuff? Did you miss this? I missed this so much. I mean, did you miss it? So let's see. How much is Judy? 5,400. You could either go with like we could go, let's see, Cedric Tillman at 4,400, who is, they're saying Flacco's been locking onto this guy all camp. David Njoku would be another one. He's probably cheap. 4,700. We could go Judy and Tillman. Although weren't the Bengals terrible against tight ends last year too? Let's see what happens if we go Judy with David Njoku. Because we already know with a decent enough quarterback that can get him the ball, Njoku's actually pretty damn good. Flacco, Judy, David Njoku. And by the way, I asked Ben to be with me today, and he said no. No, he actually couldn't. But he'll be on the First Look show with me every Tuesday for those of you guys who are wondering. That's not going anywhere. I just figured I'd jump on. This was my own decision. Should we plug Chase in here or should we plug in Higgins? Or both? William, I think Tillman killed Cincy last year. We could look. Not that that really matters all that much, but it's fun to look. Everything at this point is just fun, right? 8 for 12 for 81 in week 7. Only faced him once. The Mad Bull, we're running this back for sure. That's what I'm saying. Should we try Chase and Higgins or should we just go one of the two? I think we could go, because I think Higgins at 6,400. I know this is going to sound insane. Like from a value standpoint, it's just such fantastic value. Let's go with T. Higgins here. The value is just too good. And I feel like so many stacks are going to have cheap punts with Higgins, Chase, and Burrow. It just feels like it's going to be so popular. If you go 5,700 here, and then if we just wanted to play, do we have any cheap defenses in mind? Titans against Denver, Giants, Cleveland, Carolina, New Orleans again. No. Is there anything decent out there? I don't want to go Atlanta against Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, I want us to build out a Tampa Bay stack. That'll be fun. Especially if Godwin's not out there. That makes things different. There we go. Jets against Pittsburgh. Perfect. I like Metcalf, but I'm still not confident that run game is going to be strong out of the gate. Let's go Jets. That's perfect. Perfect. Alex mentioned 49ers. Yeah, that's not bad against Seattle. It's really not. In Seattle, though, I like the Jets at home against Pittsburgh. I think that's fine. I think the Jets defense also is going to be a lot better than last year. And I'm okay doing this. So let's go. Jets, and now we have 6,500 remaining. All right. Running back. This is good. So we got 4 spots at running back, or 4 spots, 2 at running back, a wide receiver, and a flex. And then we can pretty much just do whatever we want. Bijan against Tampa. I don't actually love that spot. Jahmyr Gibbs looks great. I think a $7,300 McCaffrey. I'd be all over that. Bucky Irving, 7,100 looks good. Devon Achane, 6,900. And throw out the names, fellas. Who do you like here? Let me know. Josh says Downs at 4,600 is crazy. Yeah, I think he's kind of cheap. But also, they have Warren now. They've got some mouths to feed. And I think Richardson is going to be the day one starter. Ashton Genty, yeah, against New England. Fine. At $7K, though, you're paying that for him. Jonathan Taylor at, wow. Okay, yep. You guys are right. 6,800 Taylor. Probably going to be relatively popular. I don't want to go to Breece Hall here. Chase Brown, believe it or not, this would be a sick build. If we went with like Jacobs and then you fade, let's say you're playing a large field, right? You fade Jamar Chase, but instead you go with Higgins and Chase Brown since you don't have Joe Burrow. That's actually a sick play right there. And that has worked out well in the past. Those type of builds, the Sims feed us those a lot. I actually like that. What do you think about that? You go, if you're playing, say you're going with like the spy or the power sweep or some single entry stuff or the big 3 max ones with anywhere from like 3 to 5,000 entries, you can still get exposure to the Bengals and you're still getting 2 of the 3 best players, but you're doing it in a form where not many people are going to want to do. I kind of love that. I like that a lot because Chase Brown, and I know it's just camp, and I love Chase Brown from the jump last year. Zach Moss was no good. They just released him, and now they've got a 6th round rookie behind him. Chase Brown's going to get a boatload of work without question. And whether you're playing with a lead or from behind, which is unlikely, but from behind, Chase Brown's still going to be heavily involved. So now we got a wide receiver and a flex, still have $6,300 per player remaining. You got Nico against the Rams. I'm super tempted to go Neighbors here. Again, I know it's just training camp, but you're getting Russell Wilson going out there, throwing 15 passes, and 12 of them are going to Neighbors. It's nuts. Brian Thomas against Carolina. Oh my God, dude, we're loaded. Tyreek Hill, I love against Indy. Oh, I put Jacobs in there. I meant to put Jonathan Taylor. My fault. How much is Taylor? 68. I think we get a resurgence from Tyreek Hill this year. Mike Evans, especially if Godwin doesn't play. Drake London is another spot. We're loaded. Absolutely loaded at wide receiver. Devontae Adams is 6,300. Cortland Sutton is 6K. God. JSN, I don't love that spot. I think the Niners D's a lot better this year too. I like Waddle at 5,700. Marvin Harrison. All right, there we go. 55. If we go 55 Harrison, what does this give us? $6,900 in the flex. You could go Brian Thomas against Carolina. Devon Achane against Indy. We'd have both backs in that game. Don't love that. Tyreek Hill at 6,700. Mike Evans at 66. This actually looks nice. So for the sake of this lineup, let's throw in Brian Thomas. And now we have Flacco. This is what happens when you get these dirt cheap quarterbacks. And I love doing this if I think it can be a high scoring game. You guys pick your poison here. You like Hill better, you like Evans, you like London, you want to upgrade at defense, go for it. Brock Bowers even 6,500, dual tight end. No one's going to want to do that. Flacco. Then you have Jonathan Taylor, bona fide RB1. Same with Chase Brown, who is underpriced, by the way. Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins, Marvin Harrison, wide receiver 1 in Arizona, assuming he's healthy, should be fine. David Njoku to complete your 2-man Brown stack. We have the dual run back with Chase Brown and Higgins without Jamar Chase, plus Brian Thomas and the Jets. That's pretty sick. I like it. I like it a lot. $100 remaining. If you wanted to upgrade to the Niners, you could do that. You don't want the Packers against Detroit. So the Cardinals are minus 5.5 on the road against this Saints team. They're probably going to be a really bad football team this year. Stranger things have happened, though. Stranger things can happen any year. We already know that. Every year a team comes out of the blue and surprises. Denver Broncos last year, right? Nobody thought they could be decent. Everyone said it's a full-out rebuilding year for this defense. Vance Joseph made them fantastic. Bo Nix ended up being way better in his rookie season than anyone thought. Marvin Mims came on strong late, and they didn't even have a run game. Imagine if that team had a run game. Now they have R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I mean, that's a good team. But who knows? Do they take a second? Is there a step back the following year? Could be. Could be. Riley Moss, who knows? Bo Nix, could be. My point is, though, that, like, you only have so much to go off of in week one, but sometimes being really familiar with what's happening throughout the league can help more in week one than any other week. So this is the game I think is going to be chalky right here. This Tampa and Atlanta game, I think, is going to be pretty chalky. Tampa's a 2.5-point favorite, 48.5-point total, right? And the Chris Godwin status is going to loom large here. Because you draft and a lot of people, a lot of smart people thought this was a strange move on behalf of the Tampa Bay Bucks by drafting a wide receiver in the first round. But to us, it doesn't matter. We don't actually care about any of that. What we're looking at now is the possibility of being able to get a really, really discounted stack on a good team that is, I won't say pass happy, because, I expect Bucky Irving to run a decent amount, but this could look like a really good spot. A real good spot. Mike Evans is 6,600. Baker Mayfield 6,600. And we don't know if Godwin's going to play. I don't think he will. Maybe that's not fair to say. Maybe he will. We don't have any actual definitive news. If you guys know anything I don't, let me know. Happy to listen. SJ Loughy, do you like Travis Hunter? Hey, look, the guy's sick. He's been considered a generational talent now for a while. The concern I have is we don't necessarily know how much he's going to play on offense. I need to know that before anything. If you're telling me that even at 5K, because there's a lot of discounted players in week one, if you're telling me that his snap counts are going to be limited significantly on offense, then I have a problem with that. Wouldn't love it. No. But at 5K, like if you're stacking Jacksonville going up against the Panthers, then sure. The other thing is, when you look at this Jacksonville team, good luck trying to figure out what running back you want to play. Like if you want exposure to Jacksonville in this game, you almost have to go through the air. 45.5-point total. They're 3-point favorites. Carolina obviously looks better. They added Tet McMillan. Chuba Hubbard came on strong. Bryce Young looked better last year. They should be a better football team. And, only 3-point dogs on the road in week one, as you can see it on the screen. Not bad. But the Jags, what would you, against Carolina last year, you'd play any running back you could, as long as you had some type of assurance that they were going to get work. In this instance, and I can only speak for myself in best ball drafts, I don't have a single Travis Etienne lineup. Could it bite me? Maybe. Probably not. Guy who's being drafted inside the top 100. I'm just going to as much Tank Bigsby since like June as I possibly can. Because there's so much less risk. I've been drafted in between like 140 and 155. Excuse me, where you're taking Etienne 50 plus picks before him. I don't want to do that. And I could be wrong on Bigsby, but if I am, it hurts a whole lot less. No interest in going to this backfield. Tootin, Bigsby, Etienne. It's gross. So what you'd be looking to do is the aerial attack. They added De'Ami Brown. They have Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas, who's a monster and had a prolific rookie year. But at tight end, it's Brenton Strange. So at least if you're stacking the Jags, you have an easy two-man stack there, where if you're playing Hunter, sure, you might just stack him in there. You might just throw him in as a stack. What is, you're saying Chase Brown's touchdown prop has to be a joke? What is it? What's his touchdown prop? You said I would raw project him for 12 touchdowns? No. There's no. I love Chase Brown as much as the next guy, but if you set a touchdown line at 11.5 on Chase Brown, and I don't even know what it is right now. Mind you, these are rushing touchdown props, not rushing plus receiving, unless that's what you're referring to, then maybe you get a little bit closer. But if you set it at 11.5, people would be absolutely hammering the under there. I don't know what it is though, but 11.5 seems extraordinarily high. Raiders, Patriots. Do you guys like this game at all? Could this be a sneaky game with Genty, Brock Bowers? You've now got Geno Smith in Las Vegas. Jacoby Myers just consistently consistent year over year. And with the Patriots, Diggs. What sucks is trying to figure out the backfield. Yeah, 5.5 does seem pretty low. But 11.5 would be insane. That's total touchdowns? Wow. That definitely seems, if that's total touchdowns and not rushing plus receiving, yeah, I'd agree that seems low. The Patriots spot, though, I mean, I don't know how much I really want to figure out who I want to play in New England. That's the part here that it's not fun. Like, look at this New England team for a second. So you have Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. I still think early on, again, just one man's opinion, I still think early on that Stevenson is going to get more work on the ground than Henderson, as long as he doesn't fumble on his first snap. He's also reportedly in much better shape this year. Wouldn't shock me at all, despite Henderson being a second-round pick, that Stevenson comes in and gets more work than Henderson. That isn't to say that I like Stevenson in DFS that week, but it is to say that neither of them stand out to me at all. Then you've got Diggs, Kyle Williams, who has had an up-and-down camp. He leads the team in drops, but he also leads the team in big plays. Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, Kendrick Bourne, Matt Collins. Do you really want to figure that out? I certainly don't. You have Hunter Henry, who's kind of a staple, but Austin Hooper's still there, and he made some noise last year. So for me, I don't like that spot. I'll probably get to some pieces on the Raiders side. I think it's this Colts and Dolphins game that I kind of like. Doesn't this seem like a potential shootout here? A healthy Tua Tagovailoa is not bad for DFS. Everyone hates the guy, but I don't know why. Like, he's still so capable. Like, if you, another thing is you can stack Tua with Achane as well. And if you look at the potential target share on this team, are you kidding me, guys? That's one of the things I care about more than anything is how concentrated is the target share. They traded away Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. They brought in Darren Waller out of retirement. And the reason you see that red out next to his name is because Mike McDaniel said, or maybe it was the OC, but that he's in great shape, but he's not in football shape. So even if Waller's back for week 1 and he's in there, how many snaps does he get? How many opportunities does he get? Julian Hill, is this Pharaoh Brown? Is he still in the league? Yeah, Pharaoh Brown. Who's this character? Tanner Connor? Like, these are your tight ends. These are your wide receivers. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Nick Westbrook-Akina, who had as many touchdowns as receptions last year. Look at this. Ready? Can I find it anywhere in the... I'm using just DraftKings because we don't have any tools. Yeah, 32 receptions and 9 touchdowns. The most absurd touchdown rate you'll ever see in your life. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Malik Washington ends up being the 3 over Westbrook-Akina this year. But that's besides the point. I like Jalen Wright, but you're not going to see a ton of him early on. Alexander Madison's terrible. So you have 3 guys. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I really think these guys have a bounce back year. Hold me to it. Call me a moron if I end up being wrong. You know where to find me at Loughy_D on Twitter. Also, hit me with a follow if you haven't, guys. We'll have some fun this year over on X. I'm only here on YouTube so often, but always happy to shoot the shit over there on Twitter for those of you guys that want to hit me with a follow, say hi, and we can go back and forth leading up to the season and throughout. And one more time for anyone who jumped in late, all of my football, like I don't do any betting picks for baseball or NBA. I just use the Portfolio EV tool for NBA and crush with it. But for NFL, I love originating picks. I love preseason betting. I think there's a massive information edge there for those of you guys that weren't here early on. I really do. And we've had a lot of success with it over the last few years. And then everything throughout the regular season, whether it's our straight bets, our ladder bets, our round robins. We had we hit a 5-leg touchdown round robin in week 3 last year. Massive payout. We hit the Mike Evans 2 touchdown prop. We laddered Jamar Chase. Some of you guys remember, laddered Jamar Chase up to 3 touchdowns against Washington that night on Monday Night Football. He had 2, but we still had a great night, and he almost caught a 3rd. Anyway, that first link in the description that says follow Loughy on Tails. Every pick I have is free this year. Not charging a cent for it. All you got to do is go click that link, click follow, right? Click follow, and then you'll have them all curated right there. And anyone else you want to follow. Eric Lindquist crushes baseball. He's over there right now. You should be following him on Tails. Ben Rasa with all the amazing obscure stuff and a ton of other people. This platform's really taken off. So come join, follow. It's free. You don't have to pay a cent for anything. So if nothing else, guess what? You got some preseason bets to sweat with us. You got some regular season bets that we can sweat together. And yeah, so click that, click follow, and we'll have some fun. All right. Anyway, I want to get back to this for a second, and I'll get your guys' thoughts on this Colts and Dolphins game. Does this make for a good game stack? I think it might. Jake, am I crazy to be so high on DeAndre Swift this year and Ben Johnson's offense? Probably. If you want my honest answer, yeah, probably. You could be high on him, but I don't think he actually has a firm grasp. I would more so say that, like, based on week 1, you might get some really good value on DeAndre Swift in week 2 and week 3 and so on and so forth. But like taking full season stands on him, you could. It's not like his draft. It's not like drafting him super high. I'm not huge on him though. There's a few other guys that I'm a lot higher on in a similar range, but stacking this Dolphins team, or even what if we even did like a mini stack style game where we go like Anthony Richardson with a dirt cheap Josh Downs or something like that. The thing I hate about this team is that there's so many mouths to feed. In Miami, you can go Tua at 5,800. You can plug in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And then a cheap defense. Let's just go Jets again for the sake of what we're doing here. You go cheap defense at 2,800, and now you've got 5,800 remaining. To me, that looks great. So 5,800 remaining. Do we have any cheap tight ends? I think Chig could have a great season. I don't like him against Denver though. Israel, 134 people in preseason haven't even started yet. Yeah, man. Well, look, we're going to have fun. I told you guys on the strategy show for baseball today, we know what we're getting into with this. Anybody who wants to, anybody who's interested in watching football content in early August, you are my friend, right? And for those of you who don't, I guess I don't blame you. But the great thing about football, it's not just like, oh, it's 3 days before football, let me do prep. No, we have fun doing this. Like, we enjoy this. So why would we not get out here early and start poking around a little bit, I think, and I'm going to throw this out there for you guys. I think, actually, I know The era of rookie receivers and even rookie tight ends not being a thing and us having to just fade them early in the rookie season or even the rookie season in general, I think that is a thing of the past. I really believe that to be long gone. We saw it last year as well. If you have a talent at any of those positions, there is no longer this steep learning curve where you're slowly worked into the offense and only the unicorn style players can have a massive first year. Think about wide receivers last year, rookies. Ladd McConkey. But how about this? Marvin Harrison last year. His rookie season, compared to any other rookies, not including last year and recency, would have been really good. He had like 800 plus yards. Would he have 7 touchdowns or something? That's a good year for a great year for a rookie. But it paled in comparison to Brian Thomas, to Malik Neighbors, to Ladd McConkey, to Brock Bowers, another rookie pass catcher. Like all of those dudes, just monster rookie seasons. Like top 10, top 15 rookie seasons. Among, I'm saying all of the wide receivers and pass catchers in the league last year. The rookies are no longer what they were. There's value in these guys, and I mean out of the gate. See this Elijah Arroyo character? Not a great pass blocker, but if they're using him in passing downs, we should be considering him, keeping him on the radar at the very least. Keep him on the radar. Some of these other, Jatavian Sanders. Apparently, Jatavian Sanders has been a massive standout at camp. He's down 20 pounds. And if you guys recall from last season, this guy showed serious upside, real flash, no doubt about it, till he got dumped on his neck on the sidelines. $2,900 against Jacksonville in this spot. Sign me up if he's going to be getting no ownership. Theo Johnson's another guy to keep your eye on. Super talented and athletic, but, a lot of question marks there. How about Mason Taylor? Not in week 1. Mason Taylor, second round rookie. No more Ty Conklin. How about him? How about Mason Taylor? You look at the pass catching tight ends. Look who's on this team. Jeremy Ruckert, Stone Smart, and Mason Taylor. So try and tell me we don't actually have, if you're going like large field tournaments, some value with some of these sub 3K tight ends if you're looking to pay up everywhere else. I think we do. Comment guide. Yeah, I heard Michael Mayer's having a good preseason as well. Who do the Panthers have at tight end now? Do they still have Tremble and where's Ian Thomas at? Sorry, I got to scratch. I've been talking all day now. Tremble's out. Back surgery. Yeah, if he doesn't play, that's a good call. That's a good call, Bowler. If Tremble's out, I think Sanders will look awesome. You guys remember he had a stretch here? See, nothing great, but like wildly efficient stuff. 5 for 49 on 7 targets, 6 on 6 targets for 61, 4 on 5 targets for 87. He can make big plays downfield. Look, long of 21, 29, 46, 28. It's there with this guy. I think he could be a big surprise this year. Keep an eye, look out for him. Jatavian Sanders could be a very big surprise this year, and no one will see it coming. Aggressive Goose, a bit off topic. Is pricing for the college football sims out yet? Not yet. I think it's going to be out any day now. Or it already is. Michael Peterson, I mentioned him. Elijah Arroyo. Yep, that's another one. In best ball, I'm paying down at tight end as much as I possibly can, honestly. Have you guys identified any value that we've got here at wide receiver either? Try and see if anybody stands out in this super cheap range. Throw some names out there. And yet Dell's going to miss the whole season. Malik Washington would be an insane one if you're looking for a low-owned play in a Miami stack, like a crazy triple stack or something. Is there anyone that they've just priced wrong? Maybe McCaffrey if McLaurin doesn't play. So far, there's nobody. Jalen Lane at 37 if McLaurin's out might be your answer. Yoshivas if you're looking for something weird for Cincinnati as your wide receiver 3. So I'll give you guys something fun. I think Jalen Noel could just like slide into the Tank Dell role. I could see that being the case. I could see the young rookie for Houston slide because no one expected Tank Dell to do what he did as a rookie. Demand Bowler says at 4,500, Ricky Pearsall. Yes, definitely. I like him a lot this year. Big flashes last year. I like him a lot. Don't love the matchup. Seattle's still, slightly above average defense, but I think Pearsall is a guy to watch. Tillman at 4,400 against Cincinnati. Cincinnati last year, every game was the best team to get involved with because even if you weren't full stacking them, you could full stack their opponent and then run back with Joe Burrow pass catchers. It just made it so easy. Granted, other people were doing it, but Tillman at 4,400, I think that's a perfectly reasonable spot. Kyle Williams, you just can't trust him right now that he's going to get enough work. McMillan, if Godwin's out, could be sneaky at 4,100. Although you just add another rookie in the first round, and that makes things tough. Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims could be a sneaky play here. This guy came on super strong late in the year. For some reason, and I don't know why, but Peyton just didn't like him until late. And then he started having these crazy games. It's unfortunate that his volume was so low, but that he's a massive deep threat, right? We saw him in week 18 against Kansas City. Saw him in week 17 in a must-win game I guess not must-win because Kansas City benched all their starters. But at the time, it was a must-win game. You remember that one? It was awesome. It went to overtime. There was a field goal off the upright. That was an incredible game. And he had 8 for 103. I think Mims is sneaky here against Tennessee. Low ownership for sure. Downs at 46 against Miami. Rashid Shaheed, someone mentioned MVP. I mean, and talking about Marquez Valdes-Scantling, but Rashid Shaheed at 4,600, he's the type of guy that could give you 2 for 102 and 2 touchdowns. But as much shit as we want to talk on Derek Carr, he's not there anymore. Right? Is it going to be Rattler? Is it going to be the whole offense, the whole setup that they have at offense is bad. And being able to get him the deep ball, whether it's Hayner or Shaw or Rattler, doesn't look good. Does not, even against that Arizona defense. I don't like that. And here's your other one, right? You have a Jalen and a Jaden as rookies. Higgins went before Noel, but that doesn't always mean anything. I'd rather pay down for Noel before I went up to Higgins just on principle alone. Golden has been very heavily involved in training camp, used a ton, and you're not seeing any Jalen Reed used outside of the slot, which means Golden's getting a ton of outside snaps, 4,900, pretty decent price point there. If Jennings plays at 4,900 with, Ayuk still on the mend, Jennings could be a great value. And how about, Ridley, nope, we're not doing Ridley against that secondary in Denver. Nope. But I would go to Olave at 5,100. I'd take Olave over Shaheed any day just because of target share. Myers at 51. Dude, we're loaded with value here. This is a real true pick your poison type wide receiver position. Sutton at 6K. Yep. You could go whoever you want here and you'd have no issues whatsoever. No issues. Michael, what's your read on Chicago pass catchers? So there's a lot of talk about Burden. I know there's word out of camp yesterday that, like, when Ben Johnson, or it might have been the OC, was asked, like, who do you trust most right now? He mentioned DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Odunze, not Burden. But what does that really matter? I think it'll be Moore and Odunze, and then Cole Kmet will be more involved than people expect, at least early on. But that whole team, that offense is going to be in flux throughout the entire season. At least I think they will be. Broncos, Titans. Cam Ward gets a tough spot in his debut. I think we're going to have some great opportunities to play guys like Chigakonkwo, obviously Calvin Ridley. What's going to happen is Calvin Ridley is going to suck against Surtain. Surtain's healthy, right? I haven't paid much attention. I think I would know. I think I would have heard it. Maybe not. But against Surtain, go play him, and then his price will be like $4,600 the next day. This Niners-Seahawks game could be sneaky. Obviously, Packers and Lions. Texans and Rams. It's another good one. It's just this Rams offensive line is so bad. I don't know how much time Stroud's going to have to throw, but Nico Collins is just going to be one of the most heavily targeted, most involved players in the league this year. And that's what we've got on this slate. Sunday night, you got Ravens, Bills. That's sweet. That's an awesome game on Sunday night. Vikings, Bears, Monday night. I don't know why they try and get cute with this stuff. I'm not even shit talking the Bears, but it's like you always put these upstart teams on these big primetime games to open the year, and they end up being terrible. I'm not saying they will be, but that's just what happens. But whatever. I mean, Caleb Williams against J.J. McCarthy is a cool matchup. I'm here for it. You'll find that while I, at times, talk shit on matchups, none of it bothers me. I'm going to watch all of it. I'm going to enjoy all of it. I'm going to bet all of it, and I'm going to play DFS. I don't really care. You know, we're just having conversation here. But for the most part, I genuinely don't care. Football to me is football. Sure, you'd love a good matchup, but from a DFS standpoint on these island games, sometimes, actually all the time, I prefer shitty matchups. I want really ugly matchups, ugly games with unique builds. I prefer that any day of the week over like Eagles, Eagles, and then another team with really expensive players across the board. Eagles Bengals would be a great example of that, right? Like you're trying to fit players in and it's really tough. But yeah, Roger, I could see Neighbors and Collins getting 25 plus targets combined. You might be underselling them. Obviously that's a lot, but dude, if Neighbors had multiple like 15 target games this year, it wouldn't shock me at all. Same with Garrett Wilson. Who does Garrett Wilson have around him? Nobody. There's a few guys that are going to get peppered with targets this year. And that's who I'm looking for. You know who else I think, and here's a big stand I'm taking on the year. Dalton Kincaid. I know it feels gross. You guys are probably shaking your heads. I don't care. To me, anytime I can get somebody who came into the league and profiled extraordinarily well as a pass-catching tight end on a team that if you were to take every implied total and look ahead line on the season, Buffalo is projected to score the most points of any team in the league. They have Khalil Shakir as their wide receiver one. So guys like Dalton Kincaid, and they have Josh Palmer now. Guys like Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman to me to me, at their price points, like if you're playing best ball, you're talking 113 ADP for Coleman, 130 for Kincaid. Why would I not want to take shots on those type of guys late in the draft on a team that is projected to score the most points in the league and does not have an actual solidified number one wide receiver? Khalil Shakir is fine, but he's not the guy, right? Not a bona fide alpha receiver. No. So give me some Kincaid this year and give me some Keon Coleman, and I'll live with the results. That's a good question. I know he'll probably get a bit chalky if Mooney doesn't play, but London at 6,500 feels like it could be the lowest he's at all year. Yeah, it's a great play. No doubt about it. Drake London at that price. I think he could be chalky regardless, actually. Because look at the total in that game. I think London's going to be popular regardless. 48.5 point total is the highest total on the slate, along with the Lions and Packers. So yeah, I think London's going to be popular no matter what. He should be. What I think gets interesting is if you don't have Mooney, shoulder, right? Wasn't it a shoulder injury? Yeah, shoulder injury. If you don't have Mooney, then Ray McCloud, just a totally different type of player. Here's what I think you do. You play Kyle Pitts. Yeah. You play Kyle Pitts. Yeah, we mentioned Jennings and Pearsall, two good spots. Nobody's going to want to do it, but I'll take Kyle Pitts over Ray McCloud any day of the week. We're playing to win tournaments here, right? We're not playing to get a nice 10 fantasy points. Now, for what it's worth, McCloud is cheap. I think there's better options with a higher ceiling at his price point. With somebody like with Kyle Pitts, use him as a receiver. Oh, Michael Penix said Thursday he plans to throw a lot of passes to Pitts. There we go. Now it's locked in. Nah, but for real. For real, I think that Pitts is going to be this is not me saying that he's going to be, dominant. No. But he has been used as a wide receiver a lot in camp already. And if Mooney's out, yes, I think Pitts becomes a really good option. Say what you want, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying here. Anyway, there's our first look. Let's finish building this one before we get out of here. Tua, Hill, Waddle. Give me some players. Let's start putting them in. Throw them out there in the chat. And like I said, one more time, guys, use that link, first one down there. Anytime you want to join me, you can follow all my betting picks, preseason and regular season, for free the entirety of the year. Just click that and then click follow next to my name, and you'll have all of them in one spot all season. I'll have the preseason picks up tomorrow or Wednesday. We've done quite well. I hope it continues. But come join me. I think you'll love it. I think we're going to all have a lot of fun. Plus, it's free 100% of the time. And there's a lot of other great people on there that give out free picks on that free picks page that I'm linking you to as well. All right, sure. We can go London. Why not? We just talked about him. $6,500 Drake London. You want to bring back Downs? Okay, we'll bring back Josh Downs at 4,600. Works for me. The competition scares me a little bit, but because you have Pierce, Pittman, Warren as well, but I'm okay with it. And you obviously have a mobile quarterback, presumably, if Richardson starts, and Jonathan Taylor. What about, give me some running backs. Give me some running backs. No, I agree. It's 4,600. I like Downs. We have 6K remaining. If we went with a cheap tight end here, we don't have to go too cheap, but I'm just looking to see if there's anyone who stands out. I'm throwing Jatavian. Let's go Sanders, baby. 2,900 against Jacksonville. That defense, yeah. 7,500 remaining for our Miami two-man stack with a Josh Downs run back, Drake London, Jatavian Sanders, which I like, All right, let's go Gibbs. Love that call, Justin. And we could go we could zero out with McCaffrey or Bucky Irving. Ooh, I like this. Nomad Hiker, what's up, brother? It's been a while. Glad to see you. Demand Bowler. Sanders feels like he'll get overlooked and lower owned. Yeah, unless he gets hyped up because like Tremble's out or whatever. But I still think he's at 2,900. I have no argument there. Here's our lineup. What do you guys think of this? And Michael said Bucky. You can go Bucky over McCaffrey if you want, but I'll go McCaffrey. So you've got Tua with Tyreek and Waddle. Josh Downs run back. Gibbs and McCaffrey at running back. Sanders at tight end and Jets at D. So we're getting 3 quality wide receivers, 2 big-time pay-up backs with elite pass-catching upside in a game with the highest total on the slate and a $4,600 run back. Love it. Oh, I love it. Appreciate you guys, man. This has been a lot of fun. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll do something similar. Maybe even next week. Let me know. Justin George, we're so back. Yeah, man. Yeah, so come hit me up over on Twitter. Loughy_D. It's right there on my handle. For those of you guys who are ever interested in an MLB sub, you want to try out the Sims for MLB, we are 1 month away. So you grab a month, shoot me a DM. I'll give you a great promo code to get a month of the MLB Core Sims or a weekly, whatever you want. But it's a big discount. That'll take you straight into the NFL season. Let's have some fun, man. Thank you guys for watching. I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea 1 month out, but I knew some of you guys would be here watching some football content, whether we're building lineups that probably won't be useful. But you know what we should do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna lock, after the show, I'm going to lock one of these into like the $5 milli and just lock it in, and I'm going to leave it. And we're going to see what happens, and we'll come back to this after week 1. Jeremiah, Sims are not up for NFL yet. Now, you need player prep. You need a lot more data from the books as well. So that'll be up soon. Roger, thanks for watching. All of you guys as well. Jeremiah, I would absolutely sim that lineup if I could right now. Anyway, I'll be back every Tuesday during the season with Ben Rasa. Greg and I will be doing plenty of shows. Live Before Lock, Deeper Dive on Sunday. And if you guys want, we always have like an extra day that we don't have content. I'm thinking I may just go and do a solo show on like a Thursday or something, or a Wednesday where we don't have a show. Do a solo show, hang with you guys, discuss some, build some lineups out, have some fun, go over the data, go over the stats, and just keep football rolling all season long, because once we hit it, it's gone before we know it, and then we're all going to miss it and wish we had more content. So if there's anything you'd like to see, shoot me a tweet, DM me, whatever it may be. Leave a comment down below, and I'd be happy to take a look. All right, guys. Appreciate all of you, and I'll catch you back here for the next one. Football's back, baby. Let's go.